Alright, when you get to the event, you have the photo booth. So but the way it opens is it opens like this. Push it out as far as it can go. There's tabs, these tabs right here. You lock in the cross pieces by bringing this above the piece. So when you're setting up the photo booth, there's these buttons in each corner, 4 corners, these buttons right here. They're silver buttons. You need to push those down and allow this cross beam to go above them. It'll click in. Then you have this button down here which allows you to raise and lower the photo booth. All you have to do is use your foot on the bottom, hold the bottom, pull the top up until you hear it click. Once it clicks, you do that on all 4 sides, your photo booth is up. So it'll look like this, completely open. Then you just have to raise it up. On the bottom of the pole, this piece goes down. So you're going to raise them up. Raise it up one side at a time until you hear a click. So you're going to take this, raise it up until you hear that click. Do that for all 4 sides. So after the 4 clicks, you have your booth. Alright, so once you have this, like this, tighten the bottom and lift this up. Put this till it's about 6 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 6. Once you have that, put the camera to put this on. You put that like that. Tighten this. Then once this is tight, you have that on there. Just make sure it's straight. This piece, and it's tight. Then you can put your camera on. The bottom of it goes into here. So you hold it like this, screw this on like that, tighten both the bottom and the gray, and then you have this, which is your power cord, which goes right behind it. Once you have this secured, you can go to the TV. Bracket on the back that you put, slide it like that on the pole. That sits like that. So you have your camera, and your TV. Run an extension cord from a power outlet to the surge protector. The surge protector will look like this. So you run a power from an outlet to this, and this is where you're going to plug in all your stuff. There's going to be a lot of different cords. First you have your HDMI cord. This goes from the TV to the side of the computer. The HDMI is usually on the back of the TV where you put it on the pole. It's usually easier to put the wires on before you put it on the pole. So you take your HDMI, find the hole that it goes into in the back, and put it in. So you have it there. It's plug in, it's snug. Next, you need your power cord. Power cord is different for each monitor, but most likely will either be a cord like this or a cord like this. Basic power cord. What you're going to do is find where the power is. For this particular monitor, the power's right there, right in the back, right next to the HDMI. Plug the power in, ready to go. For this monitor, which is the touchscreen, you have to also put in a USB cord. The USB cord is right next to these other two, so right there. Put it into that, and that's wired. Now again, this is just for the touchscreen. For a regular screen, all you need is the HDMI and the power cord. So again, for this regular screen, all you need is the power cord and the HDMI. So you plug the HDMI, plug the power cord in, you're ready to go. Once you have the wires in, you take the TV and you slide it back on. Slide it back on. Once you have the TV set up with the wires, you put it back on the stand. So it should look like this. TV, camera, stand. Okay, so within the photo booth, you have the TV, the camera, the stand. Now you want to put the two legs, 1, 2, in the front, and then the one leg in the back. It's okay if the one leg in the back pushes up the curtain, because we'll put a drape over the stand. For the wires, you put them right through the bottom, and then you'll have the table on the other side where they'll connect into the computer. So now I'll show you where to put the wires in the computer. Alright, so here's your computer. The password to the computer is user, U-S-E-R. What you're going to do, you're going to open the computer. It's going to load up. You probably have to plug it in. The plug is over here on the side, back here. You plug that in, which is this cord. This cord will be in your bag. Looks like a circular end, silver tip. Plugs in to there, and then you plug that into power and you have power. So when you're ready to use the computer, type user, U-S-E-R, enter. Now in order to get into the program, you need to find DSLR Remote Pro. So you double click that. That'll come up, it'll say Breeze Systems. That'll say not connected, and it'll be a red screen. So now I'll show you how to get rid of the red screen. On the computer you have 3 USB ports. There's one on the right side, which is the same as the power side, right here. That is for the printer. The other 2 are on this side. So you have these 2, and then you have the HDMI, which is right next to it. So there's the HDMI here, 2 USB ports here. One's for the camera, one's for the monitor if you're using the touchscreen. If you're not using the touchscreen, this one is free, or you can plug in a mouse so that they have a wireless mouse to start the photo booth. The HDMI comes from the TV and plugs into here. When you're hooking up the camera, You want to make sure it's plugged in. Hit the power button. The dial here should be on P, and then you click this, that opens the flash. Then you can either leave it on P or go to the green box. Once you've done that, come over to the side and you plug the camera back in on the side here. Rubber piece that you're going to open. You're going to take your camera wire that looks like this. Take the camera wire, plug it into the side of the camera. So you plug that into the side of the camera like that. Take this wire, and the other end of it looks like this. Other end looks like that. Take this wire and you plug it into the side of the computer. The side that has 2 USB. So you take the wire that came from the camera, plug it into the side of the computer. There's 2 over here. It doesn't matter which one you use. One's going to be used, if you're using the touchscreen, one's going to be used for the touchscreen, the other one's going to be used for the camera. And then you have HDMI right here. So the HDMI you take here, that goes into the side of the computer as well. So you take the last wire, which is either the touchscreen or the mouse if you're not doing the touchscreen, and you put this in to there. Make sure that you have all the plugs in. There should be a plug for the computer power, the camera power, and the monitor power. So you plug those into this here. You still have the red screen. Once everything's plugged in, you have to turn on and off the camera again. Now you can see once we plugged that, all of that in, we no longer have a red screen. We have a regular gray screen that on the touch screen you're able to touch on here. If you have a regular screen, you go to the computer and you manipulate the program from the computer. Now when the camera gets blurry, we want to make sure that we unblur it. So you don't want your pictures looking like this. You want your pictures looking crisp like that. So right here on the side it's AF, MF. If the pictures go blurry, you're going to click that to AF, which is automatic focus. You're going to take one picture, and once you've taken that picture, you click it back to MF. If it says that it can't release the shutter, it sometimes happens when it's too dark. What you're going to do is you're going to come over to the main screen of the photo booth software, and right here there's a button that says release. When you click that button, it'll shutter the camera and it'll release and it'll focus. Then all you do is go back in, start full screen photo booth mode, and then you're ready to go. Next, you're going to set up the printer. All you need to do to set up the printer is have the USB here, plug into the USB onto the printer, power the printer, and you're ready to go. Next, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so here's the printer. It has 2 ports in the back, one for power, one for USB. So you take your USB, which looks like this. And you put that back here. So you put that back there. Once that's secure, you take your power cord, put your power cord in, take the other end of the power cord, plug it into your power strip. So once the two wires are plugged into the back of the printer, you take the other end, plug this one into your power strip, and then the other one into your USB port on the right side of the computer by the power cord. So on the right side here, right here, you have your USB for the printer. You just plug it in. Power, and you're all set to go. So the complete setup of the photo booth is the outside tent, the printer, and the computer. You have the camera on the inside, and then the monitor. The camera has one cord that comes out of it for power and one cord that comes out of it for USB. The TV, depending on if it's a touch screen or a regular screen, is going to have 2 or 3 cords. If it's a touch screen, it'll have 3. If it's a regular monitor, it'll have a power cord and a HDMI cord.